Hello lovely people, welcome back to the box. I said this last year. It's just saying that just dawned on me. Last year, about August time, I stayed in another one of these hotels. It's the Zeta Hotel, in case you're interested. This one's Soho. I last year stayed in Holborn. And I'm pretty much sure I was like, welcome to the box in those, because these are box rooms, and if I go back to the Holborn one, that was no box compared to this. Anyway, hello, welcome back. It is the day after the night before, and we are here to do the second of two videos on Into the Woods. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain it in about 2 seconds, but welcome to the review for Into the Woods. So if you want to know my thoughts and feelings on this show, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So yes, we're here to talk all things Into the Woods. If you don't know me and my content and life, you're thinking, what's she talking about? 2 videos on a show? Let's get it out. Every show that I see, I like to do 2 separate videos. The first of those videos being the last one, that was the Nervous Guide. The Nervous Guide is basically everything you need to know about the show before you go in, be that content warnings, sensory warnings, information about the theatre itself, merchandise, sport, anything that will help your trip to the theatre, and also just generally easing the nervousness of seeing a show, because sometimes it's a bit scary, and hopefully by making a nervous guide or 2 I will help the nervousness a little bit. The second of those 2 videos is, or these 2 videos is this one. This is the review. Review is always put in inverted commas because at the end of the day I'm no way professional. I just love theatre. I love coming to the theatre. It is my happy place. And sometimes, like this time, I am coming alone. I therefore don't have anyone to soundboard off, tell my thoughts, my feelings. The people enjoyed the cast, the creativity of it all, so I make these videos. That was really long-winded, but I was also trying to concentrate putting rings on because I suddenly realised I hadn't done it. Full transparency, down on the floor I also have some porridge because I have got about an hour and a bit until checkout, and I need to film 2 videos, eat this and finish packing. We're all friends here. But on to the video itself. Let's talk all things Into the Woods. Now, the reason I went to this show was down to word of mouth, because I have friends who have seen this production, was like, you need to check it out. And also it had many Olivier nominations, and the morbid curiosity in me made me want to go and watch it. I booked my ticket on the train down to London, so I tried for Rush and didn't win. I tried for Rush in a few shows, didn't win any of them. So then I listed everything that I wanted to see and decided on price points, and Into the Woods won. I've only ever seen one Sondheim musical previously, which was Company a few years ago, like many years ago now probably, and this show is a completely different kettle of fish to that one. My goodness, was it. Into the Woods meshes many a grim fairy tale with an additional storyline. So you have the stories of Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, alongside the story of the baker and the baker's wife. The first act is basically the underlining act of everyone trying to get what they want. So it tells most of the 4 fairy tale stories enmeshed alongside the baker's and baker's wife story. The long and short of it is the baker and the baker's wife want to have a child. They are under a curse from the witch, who have made sure that the entire of the bloodline is barren, and the only way to change the curse is for them to collect different things from the different fairy tale people by going into the woods. I'm not telling this very well. I even wrote like crap synopsis in my book, but I feel like at the same time, if you know the show, you know what you're getting into. This production of the show, which has book by James Lapine and music and lyrics by Stephen Sondheim himself, is directed by Jordan Fane, who is also the person behind Fiddler on the Roof and the last the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre production, which won an Olivier. Well done, Jordan. The one side of creativeness that I wanted to give a shout out to is set and costume design, which I think, when I did my predictions, I'm going to apologise now to Tom Scott, because when I did my predictions video, which always comes with a pinch of salt, I don't have a great deal of experience in most of the nominations, which is why I do them. It's fun. I was like, I really haven't heard a lot about them. Apologies to Tom for everything that I probably said in that video, because my goodness was that set impressive. When you walk into the auditorium, you are basically greeted by next to nothing. There is a black curtain. That is pretty much it, and the show starts and you are greeted with much of a muchness, and it comes up off the floor, but you're just like, okay, cool, this is what we're gonna go to. Cut to the curtain raising on the woods. Mwah. Act 1, woods, stunning. I want to go in there and just like explore, because I don't know how far it goes back. I was on the side for this show, so I'm not sure how much of it like you could get to in Act 1. It's just so beautiful. So stunning. And then Act 2, you get the shift from the first half. The woods, spoiler alert, is kind of destroyed, and yeah, it's still just literally stunning, and I just wanted to toot its horn. Let's move on to the cast. Firstly, wow. Secondly, my curse itself has been broken, which is the best show to have this curse broken at. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's not really a curse. However, for I'd say about 3-4 years now, I have seen shows that a certain person is in, and every time I go and try and see that show with that person in, they are not on. It's happened for various different shows and I'm sure it's like coincidental, but the person in question is Oliver Saville, and yesterday, because I'm filming this the day after, yesterday the curse was broken. I saw him performing his little heart out. Oliver plays the roles of Cinderella's prince and the wolf. I loved both of those. It's just absolutely wonderful, a joy to watch. And speaking of the princes, both him as Cinderella's prince and also Reese Whitfield as Rapunzel's prince, every time they were on the stage, both singular and together, I was just like drawn into them. I just love it. Speaking of the princesses, Rapunzel and Cinderella, they are played respectively by Bella Brown and Chumsa Dortford May. I am 100% sure that I've ruined one of those names. The vocals on the two of those were literally stunning. Like Bella as oh, stunning, just beautiful. And the way that Rapunzel's story goes in this show, just heartbreaking, and Bella played it gloriously. And the same with Jamisa as Cinderella. Both just absolutely glorious people, glorious actors. Loved them both. Speaking of people I love, the next one is Jack. Jack is played by Joe Foster. I love Joe Foster. Something special. From my first introduction to them, which I think was Legally Blonde at the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre, to now, anything that Joe is in, I will try my best to get to, because just a literal powerhouse. Just, yeah, stunning. We're talking no more. We've got Little Red Riding Hood, who's played excuse me, get my teeth in. Is played by Gracie McConaughey. I last saw Gracie in The Little Big Things, who I fell in love with, and again, she's definitely going to be one of those people that I try and follow the career of through the stages that they are on, because she is just an absolute joy, and you kind of want to dislike Little Red Riding Hood at the beginning because she's kind of mild, but at the same time she gets a fabulous cape, two fabulous capes in fact, a red one and a not so red one, just stunning. And Gracie was lovely. Playing the narrator and the mysterious man, we have John Owen Jones. I know that there are some of this cast that not recently but came onto this production later, John being one of them. I love that for the most part people are allowed to use their just normal accents, because anytime I'm allowed to listen to John Owen Jones speaking, it's just a joy. The amount of times, however, that man died was a lot. Witch was played by Melanie Barry, again a person that I love watching. Her vocals are always on point, and the witch has a journey through the show. Like, do you like her, do you not like her, is she a nice person, is she not a nice person, who knows. But it was a joy to watch her on the stage again. Rounding out the cast, we have the baker and the baker's wife, played respectively by Hughie O'Donnell and Rachel Tucker. Again, in the cast world where there are people, if I'm going to go and watch them, I will love them, Rachel Tucker will be on that list. And again, really enjoyed her as the baker's wife. I have no frame of reference, so I can't say, oh, she's the best person I've ever seen play this role, because she's the only person I've seen play this role. But yeah, again, as always, stunning. She almost made me cry in Act 2. How rude. And Hughie O'Donnell, who I am aware was originally the role of Steward, until the small cast change happened, and then he has become Baker full-time. And again, I really enjoyed his performance. It was really good and enjoyable. Bearing in mind that I went in completely blind to the show, I didn't know what I was getting myself in for. I really enjoyed myself. My one downside, and I did say this in my nervous guide, is that I sat to the one side I picked on the day of seeing, and I picked one of the cheapest tickets still available, which was a restricted view seat on the side. I didn't miss a lot. Go back to the last video if you want to see my view, but there are certain things that I wish that I had the chance to see. So there is the possibility of going back. Saying that, however, this bridge production closes on the 30th of May, which I think by the time this video goes up, it has just closed at the bridge. The reason, however, I'm still making this video is that there is going to be a transfer into the West End, which is weird because the West End from the bridge is like, you could probably just about see it. But we have boundaries. It is going to the Noel Coward Theatre in September until January 2027. So I might go back and check it out and see what I missed set wise and just like in general wise by being on the side. Plus I love the Noel Coward, I haven't been there for a while, so it'd be nice to go back. I completely see where all the hype has come from for this production, and yeah, I absolutely love my time being in the woods. It was nice to get out though. I wouldn't like staying there full time, especially at 2 woods. No. So that is pretty much that. I'm going to stop this video here because I've rambled on enough, so much that my warm porridge is now lukewarm. And yeah, I've got one more video to film, which you'll have already seen by the time this one goes up because I'm doing them in reverse. And then I'm going to pack up shop and go into the big wide world, away from my box, which I won't miss, sorry. But it's not been my favourite room. Anyway, all that's left to say is what I usually say, which is thank you very much for watching. I hope you come back for more theatre based fun and frolics next time. I hate myself too, don't worry. Finally, all that's left to say is the usual, which is so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen and goodbye. Bye everyone.